we're now joined by Daniel Suarez, driver of the 99 Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have one, please raise your hand and we'll get a mic over to you. We'll start over here and then come to Holly and then go to Jerry.
Yeah, Daniel, you're one spot out of the playoffs, of course, but you come to a track you know very well, and you scored 3 top 5 finishes here in your 5 outings. So bodes well for a good day tomorrow, doesn't it, to move up in that playoff standings?
Yeah, I think I feel really, pretty confident coming here. Watkins Glen has treated me very well in the past, and I think that this weekend it won't be the exception. I think that it's going to be even better, especially with the kind of performance that we had last weekend. So I'm very happy to be here. I'm glad that after Indy we have another shot at the road course, because if we were racing in oval, I feel like I will have the something is stuck in my heart a little bit. But I feel like we have an opportunity to revenge a little bit and have some fun.
Come down to Holly.
Hi, Danielle. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. My question is kind of along those lines. What is the feeling like on the team right now? Are you guys kind of at this high, hitting on all the cylinders? I mean, is there just that extra something maybe because of the situation you're in and racing into it?
Well, everyone is different, right? Like the way I personally perform, I love being in these kind of scenarios. I feel that as a race car driver, as an athlete, you really live for moments like this. You don't get to experience moments like this all the time. And when you do experience these moments, I feel like that's when really you get to show what you're built of. And I feel like, as a team, I would say that most of my team is the same way. We had long meetings, long conversations this week about Indianapolis. And I think that even though that is not great that happened, I feel like we learn a lot from that mistake, because there is a lot of people that could have done something different, something better to avoid that problem, including myself. So I feel like as a team, we grew a lot in the last few days, and I'm excited for this weekend challenge.
We'll come to Jerry and then over to Zach.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. So your track record here, as it was pointed out, is pretty good. So assuming you don't win here, but you're going to pick up some points most likely. So going into Daytona next weekend with whatever points you have to make up, how will you tackle that race, knowing that anything can happen and has in the past?
Yeah. So, I mean, in reality, I have to control what I can control. I can only control one race car, and that's the 99. And the rest of the guys, I wish them luck. I'm not the kind of driver that wish them something bad to happen. So I'm gonna control what I can control and do it the best I can. This weekend, as you mentioned, the goal is to win the race. I'm with the mentality that I need to win the race. With that being said, I don't need to. I think that if I have a weekend like I had in Indy, and we caught that bunch of points like we did at Indy, we can go to Daytona in a strike distance and we can be fine. But I would love to take care of my destiny and to win and be done with it, because I know in Daytona that anything can happen. Somebody else can make a mistake in front of me, and that's it. So those are things that unfortunately I can't control. But there is a lot of things that I can control this weekend, and I will try my best to put ourselves in a very good spot.
And coming into the close of the regular season before the playoffs, how would you grade your performance, your team, and how everything's working for this year?
That's a difficult question, because I feel like it's been a little bit of a roller coaster for the 99 team. In the beginning of the season, we had a lot of speed, but we were not executing right. Either I was making a mistake, or we're having wrong lights on the dash, or you name it. Like, there were happening a lot of things that we're just not executing right. And then later in the year, in the middle part of the year, we started executing better, but then we didn't have the speed. The speed was just okay. It wasn't winning speed anymore, like it was, I thought, in the beginning of the year. So, I think that there is a lot of room for improvement. I'm very harsh on myself. I'm always trying to find perfection. But I also think that in the last few weeks, we've been in the right track again. In the last few weeks. So it's hard for me to put a number on my rate for this year or our rate, but I think that it's been inconsistent. I think that we still have some work to do. My plan for this 2023 season was to be able to just be more consistent than we were, and in a stronger fashion. And we have been there, but not all the time. So we have some work to do. I believe that, I say this, and we can win the next couple of weeks, and then we turn the whole thing around. But I feel like we still have to continue to work, to continue to not to feel like we are settled, and continue to move forward.
Go to Zach, and then over to Nathan.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Daniel, with as well as you guys ran at Indianapolis, what has this last week been like leading into Watkins Glen? Do you feel like that confidence would still be as high heading into this weekend, if not for how you guys ran last week, despite how different the road courses are?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, my confidence going into Indianapolis, I kind of knew, we put a lot of work, and I knew we were going to be strong. And I was expecting, I was hoping that we were going to be that strong. Obviously, we had, for what I thought, a winning car. But yeah, the confidence is just as high. I think that, honestly, every time that we go to a road course, I feel like you guys can count out the 99 team. We're a strong team in road course stuff, and in ovals as well. It's just that we're a little more hit and miss once in a while. But in road course stuff, for the most part, we're pretty sporty. So I'm excited to be here in Watkins Glen. Like I said, this is a place that has been good to me, and we have good momentum, and we're hungry after what happened last week. So we have to make sure that we take that to our advantage, because if we're not smart, that can affect us too. If we go all or nothing, that can affect us. So we have to be smart about it and go out there and do our thing.
Just to follow up on that from last week, obviously you guys scored a ton of points, got the third place finish. How was it difficult in any way to kind of separate the disappointment of not winning and the excitement of what you guys actually did end up accomplishing?
Oh, definitely. It was very difficult to divide the two. In my Cup career, I would tell you that that's the worst third place I ever had, by a lot. Like, I left the racetrack disappointed, and I left the racetrack thinking that we didn't do our job, we didn't execute right. In different areas, honestly, you guys only saw the pit road issue, but before that, there were a couple adjustments that I didn't like on the car, and there were a couple little things that led us into running third. Like, that car was capable of leading all the laps, and we just didn't execute the way that we should have. So, there is a few things, like I said, that we learned, and we just have to continue to be better. But yeah, the positive of that weekend is the speed that we had. The car has had a lot of potential. We just have to be smarter and execute in a better fashion.
All right, we'll go to Nathan, and then over to Dustin.
Nathan Song with a podium finish. Daniel, kind of going off that, when a mistake like that happens on pit road, how do you pick up your guys and just move on to the next week?
Well, first of all, there is I hope that's not my group. I know, that's extremely. First of all, there is absolutely nothing anyone can do about the past. Nothing. So what happened on that pit stop, I left pit road. Yeah, I was mad. But then what? What am I going to do about it? There is nothing I can do. The only thing I could have done was to drive the crap out of that car, which I did. We cut the deficit of 10 and a half seconds to 5 and wait for a caution, which didn't happen. So, it's one of those things that you just have to move on. You have to have the capacity of moving on and knowing that you should have an entire stint to go, and anything can happen. In my mind, I still can win the race. 10 seconds and a half behind, I still can win the race. Caution comes, anything can happen, I still can win the race. I never gave up on the race until the white flag. And after the race, like I said, probably the longest meeting I ever had with a pit crew. We had a long conversations, a lot of reviews on film. I mean, we were together for a couple hours at least, just watching film, reviewing what I could have done different, what they could have done different. There were so many different things that they could have gone in a different way, and that 23-second stop was going to be 15. And if it was 15-second stop, I could have won the race. So, we just learned a lot. We failed at Indianapolis, but from failure, success comes from failure. So we learn a lot, and that's a good part of it. And I can tell you that my pit crew, they're hungry. I'm hungry. My engineers are hungry. So right now, I feel like we're in a very, very good, in a good place to continue to fight.
And then kind of shifting gears a little bit, we talked about your success here at Watkins Glen, but this road course in particular, what makes it unique compared to the other road courses we visit?
I think the bus stop, it's a very fast track. The bus stop is very tricky. You can be extremely bad in the bus stop and perfect everywhere else, and you won't be good here. So it's a very tricky racetrack. But that's what makes it so cool. That it's difficult and that it's tricky. So excited to be here. Like I said, I feel like we have a great opportunity ahead of us, and I think that the 99 team is ready for battle.
We'll come down here to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. You qualified in the top 10 at all the road courses this year, but I'm curious just the feeling about what it's been like leaving those road courses. I know COTA, you get dumped late. Sonoma was the shift. Chicago was damage. Indianapolis, as you referenced, the frustrating third. For somebody who talks about, look out for the 99 team at the road courses, how do you look back at what's happened and how many points have been left on the table, or you just put all that stuff away?
Yeah, you're right. You almost made me cry. I think that the only road course this year that we haven't been capable of winning the race, it's actually funny, but it's Sonoma, and we know why. We know what went wrong. There was something significantly wrong. So, beside the shifting. So yeah, I think part of that is execution. Part of that is just being smarter, thinking outside the box. I feel like in Chicago we just didn't evolve good enough. We took for granted how much heat the brakes were gonna get, and then I run out of brakes in the rear of my car. So, I feel like we're a fast team, but we have to be smarter. If we want to win a championship, and if we want to be up front in the consistent basis, we have to be smarter. And I say we because including myself too. I feel like in Chicago, I was running, I don't know, 5th or 4th or something like that. I started having issues with the brakes. I kept pushing the same, and eventually I had contact, and then another contact. So even with the issue with the brakes, I could have finished top 10. And I kept pushing because I'm a very aggressive driver, sometimes dumb, and I made a mistake. So and I ended up finishing, I don't know, 25th, 27 or something like that.
27.
So, those are the kind of scenarios that we have to be smarter. Also, we could have done a better job picking and choosing our brake package. If our brake package, we're the best in braking in, I don't know, Sonoma, that doesn't mean that the same package is going to work in Chicago. We have to really be smarter about, our decisions. So as a group, we just have to continue to evolve, continue to be better, to be able to make the 99 team go to the next level. That, in my opinion, the next level is winning several races, like the 24 team. Right now, the 24 team is not thinking about, getting into the playoffs. They are thinking about how to win a championship. They have several wins. They are thinking about playoff points. That's what I want for the 99 team, and that's my target. And we're working very hard for that.
And I know in a pit stop, there's so many elements over the wall and even behind the wall that are important things. But you talk about even things you could have done differently, and I just don't understand what could you have done differently on that Indy stop? Because once you stop, I mean it's out of your hands. Or was there anything different you could have done in that case?
So there is so many different things that went wrong. The first one was the hose. The throw of the hose was too short. The second was I was a couple feet too long. That made the short hose even shorter. The third one is I know that he's stuck, so I could have put reverse, but then the right rear, he already took the knot out, so I can put reverse because I don't have a wheel on the right rear. So he could have been, waiting. If he knows that the left front is stuck, why are you going to take the right rear knot? You don't have to be that far ahead. The carrier and the changer, they're seeing the hose underneath with a loop because the hose had like a weird loop that supposedly never happened, but it had like a loop. They saw it, but they didn't move it. So there is like 7 different people in our team, including myself, that we could have done something to avoid it. And then on top of this, we were going to wait for fuel. Like, we didn't need a 9-second stop. We just needed an okay stop. We were going to wait for fuel. So it's one of those things that we just have to be smarter. We just have to be smarter in the situation. And there is a lot of different things that could have been communicated to me. Also, my first stop, actually, I was a little bit deep on the box, and it was communicating to me to stop a little bit shorter, too late, when I was pretty much already stopping into my box. So there is so many different people that we could have done something different to avoid that and to make the stop better, and we didn't execute the right way. So like I said, we learned a lot from that, and I guarantee you that it won't happen again. But maybe something else is going to happen, and everything is about how you react in those situations. And unfortunately, in that particular mistake, nobody was able to react properly within in the group.
That first stop, though, you still were able to make a pass on pit road. I mean, I know you gained a lot of ground up to the commitment line, but even though coming long, you still were able to come in with all that.
So the first stop, actually, it was just as long as the second one. So at least I was consistent. Like, it was exactly the same. But the hose was short. The first stop, we were talking about probably 2 feet away from the hose getting stuck in there. So, we could have communicated, hey, this is a red flag, man. We may put more hose, or we may, make an adjustment on the driver or something, communicate more about it. But we were in the front, we were in the lead at the time. We are thinking that maybe we're invisible, how you say that? Invincible, and we're not. So, it's one of those things that we just have to be smarter. That's it. That's the bottom line. Be smarter, communicate better.
All right, Daniel, that is all the time we have. Thank you. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, guys.